we lose a lot of valuable experience, and for us to be as young as we were, and it's going to take some time. And the kids, they had a really good workout, maybe one of the better ones that we've had all year. So last night,
mm-hmm.
and that's one of the things that we really had to stress, was that we have to be able to handle the pressure.
Yeah, and coming out of that tournament 2-3, you had a big game on Morton, which has kind of been a non-conference rivalry for us in the last 5 years since Morton's been coming to the Eaton Electrical Tournament. And again, a close game. We battled all the way through. The guys played extremely hard. Morton played extremely hard. After you've played 4 games and lead up to 2 in one day, it looked like your guys really gave everything they had.
I thought we played very hard in the tournament, and and even Thursday night after reviewing the tape, we played hard. I think we let bad things get us to some points that we kind of hung our head a little bit, but for the most part, the kids are playing hard. It's just making good decisions and being able to execute, and it's going to take some time.
Yeah, and time is you have some this week, but coming up here, of course, you get into the conference schedule of next week, and then you've got Collinsville, and then after Collinsville is basically every Friday and Saturday, and it's time for the learning to take place for some of these young guys. You talked about some sophomores getting minutes, less experienced juniors and seniors getting minutes, but talk about the play of the Railers, some surprises, maybe individually, maybe team-wise, and some things that you definitely got to work on still.
Well, for us, I don't think there was any surprises. It's what the coaches expected out of the kids, and the up and down I think is going to happen, but I thought what we've done is we've tried to cover up our size with Jake and Pod. We've got them down on a wing so they don't get smothered in traps and things, and it has caused us to rotate and teach the kids new things, and I think we looked at it, and we're going to rotate even some more to try to find the answers to what we've done. So I think, but Max Cook has done a very good job being a sophomore, being young.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're talking about the young kids. I thought Edward Bowlby gave us some good minutes. And going from freshman ball, even sophomore ball, to the varsity level is a whole different speed of the game, and it takes a little bit of time. And we had Christian Van Hook. I'd like to see him be more aggressive to the basket and
mm-hmm.
things, but I thought he's had a good start. Jake Olson, you're going to get it every night with him,
right?
And Will Podbelsic, shooting is not hit, but that's his strength, and it's going to take him a little bit of time. And once he gets into the rhythm and things, he'll be a plus. But if you had to pick one that was really a surprise, I thought Tommy Harris
mm-hmm.
came in and has given us really some good minutes, and he's really got quick feet, and he can cover and get up into people and guard. And I guess as far as the team goes, one of the things that I guess that's been very enjoyable is the defensive side of it. Is the team has come back, and I think that we've played some really good hard-nosed defense.
Yeah, and I think, Coach, the quickness is a little bit more for a whole team-wise quickness. I mean, even when you've got Van Hook, you've got Bowlby, those guys are not big lugs. They're good athletes. They can get out and cover. Cook is another good athlete, and especially when you get Tommy Harris, who's a little bit bigger than maybe, say, a Pod or Jake Olson with really good feet. I thought he was giving you good minutes all year. But talk about Van Hook a little bit. To me, a guy that you can't afford to be sitting on the pine for very long, foul trouble, getting hurt, anything like that. You lose a lot of rebounding, some of the experience that he does have. But as far as athleticism, he's a guy that's going to be able to do as much as anybody for the Railers, especially when we hit conference season.
Well, no doubt. I've been 36 years of doing this, and Christian is by far the most explosive and athlete that I've ever coached,
mm-hmm.
and he plays way above Anybody, even you.
That's not. Now maybe Jake.
But he plays way above the rim, and he's got to control the paint for us. He's got to be able to score inside for us, and there for a couple points and times in games, the only way we could score is just throwing it up there to him and letting him get up around the basket. But he's very quick. He's got a nice jump shot. Again, we'd like to see him go to the basket a little bit more, but I think he's got off to a really a good start.
Well, anytime that we're in a drought, scoring-wise, all you've got to do is run that lob play. That's at least good for 8 points a game, I've figured so far.
Well, we keep working on it. We're trying to find more of them. So.
Yeah, he's definitely a high riser, and the thing for me is his jump shot. There were some jump shots in the Eaton Electrical tournament that guys were right in his face, and he has the ability, and you hear about announcers talking about an NBA guy that's taller or more athletic and just jump and shoot over his guy. He's definitely got that ability and did a lot of it in the tournament.
Well, I thought even in our last game, I thought there was some key calls that were not made against him, because he can jump above anybody and get a shot off, and they couldn't even get up there, and what they were doing to get his shot off was hitting his arm. And to me, one of the bad things an official can do is watch the flight of the ball. And I thought we had a couple officials watching the flight of the ball instead of watching the action on the body and the hands on the arms.
Yeah, Coach, definitely been enjoyable to, especially the Eaton Electrical. I thought it was a very good tournament, very well ran again. A lot of good teams, just if you were just out watching basketball, you saw a lot of good competition. Morton's going to be an excellent team. Of course, Seton Academy is going to be one of the top teams in 2A state, and Cahokia has got a lot of talent too that we will see a lot of that talent down in Collinsville also. But before we get to the Normal West game, which was Thursday night, and kind of a preview of the Central State 8, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're out here at the Lincoln IGA. Stop by out here. We'll be out here till 10 o'clock, and then the rest of the boys with the 96.3 will be here from 10 to 12. So stop on out. This is the Cheap Seats. You're in the 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com. Back here on 96.3 FM radio and WLCNonline.com. You're in the Cheap Seats. Josh Komnick along with the furniture guy, Jake Johnston, and Lincoln High School head basketball coach, Coach Neil Alexander. We're out at Lincoln IGA for the Ground Incorporated and Jake's Furnishings annual holiday Lincoln Logan County Food Pantry Drive at the Lincoln IGA in downtown Lincoln. Thanks for joining us live along with the Lincoln IGA, Ground Incorporated, and Jake's Furnishings as we help the less fortunate this holiday season and year-round by bringing your non-perishable food items or purchasing pre-packed sacks containing much-needed items hand-selected by the Lincoln Logan County Food Pantry for their shelves. We have lots of prizes, including the grand prize valued at over $1,200. So stay with the WLCN 96.3 FM and join us at the Lincoln IGA Ground Incorporated and Jake's Furnishings annual holiday Lincoln Logan County Food Pantry going on now from now until 2. We'll only be here till 10, but Jeff number 2 and Jim will be here until 2. So stop by and donate to the less fortunate. And Coach, Thursday night, a little bit of a different, kind of a quick turnaround too. You talk about playing on Saturday. It's kind of like those NFL guys got to play on Sunday and get back to a game on Thursday. Was it any different preparation for you guys? You probably had Sunday off, maybe not Sunday off. I don't know. Monday practice and then a couple days and get ready of a little bit of a different situation playing on Thursday.
Yeah, it was a different feeling, but you're talking about the NFL. That's about how the game was, about an NFL style, rugged and rough and throwing the ball all over the court. But yeah, it was different. But the preparation, we just practiced Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and played Thursday, and we struggled through it. Still had a chance to win the game, but it was a pretty ugly basketball game.
Normal West came to town Thursday night and was victorious over the Railers on a last-second 3 in overtime. And Normal West came in 5-0. Coach, we had seen them. We've played them in the last few years. They had won the city tournament in Bloomington. I think maybe probably the favorite, what I've heard, was U-High, and Normal West came in. But they had some guys that I remembered from last year, especially the Stewart kid, who's going to be a college basketball player somewhere. He's a good size. He can go to the basket. He can shoot. And did you have a chance to see them this year before we played them on Thursday?
We had Coach Harmson and Coach Jay Mack go up and scout them while we were playing in our tournament. And, you know, they've got a good basketball team. They've got an experienced team. They play seniors, and, you know, from what we gathered from the information that we got, that they were very disciplined, took care of the basketball, and I thought our kids done a nice job defensively. Again, we played hard. You know, I just don't think we played very smart with the basketball, and we're not going to survive many games with 17 turnovers. And to turn the ball over 17 times and lose on the last second shot, that's speaks for your defense. Yeah,
it's still all in all a pretty good game. As you said, it was in the 30s before it hit overtime, I think. And anytime you can be in the 30s, and you're going to see some of those games from the Railers this year, we'll be in the 30s, and hopefully the other team will be in the 30s also. But defensively, did a great job. The Stewart kid, I think, maybe finished with 23 or 25, somewhere around there. But again, we let him score, and some of their guys really didn't hurt us. Some of the other guys didn't have the opportunity to hurt us.
Well, we held Stewart till 7 points till the fourth quarter, and our guys, you know, again, they're young and they don't understand that, you know, a player of his caliber, you got to stay on him. You just can't let him hit a shot. And we let him hit a shot, and we let him hit another one, and then, whoa, look out.
Yeah.
He got on a roll, and that's what happens, and that's all about momentum. And one little play can turn the momentum and slide the game from one way to the other. And, you know, with him hitting those shots and us just not covering him up a couple times, he got on a roll, and then we were all over him, and then, you know, he still threw him in. So, you know, he scored 18 fourth-quarter points, and you can't allow that to happen. So, you know, that's one of the things that we discussed is our defense is, you know, you got to stay on people, and you got to keep them covered. And, you know, the Bonke kid who hit the last-second shot hadn't hit a basket all night, but, you know, we knew that he was a great shooter.
Yeah.
And I thought our guys done a great job on both him and McGinnis to keep the pressure on them and not allow them to hit any threes. And then we got a little relaxed a little bit and let them start shooting them. And, again, once you hit them, they start going in.
Seemed like once Stewart got going, not only offensively, but their defense picked up also. Their press is kind of a half court, not a lot of pressure, just kind of a matchup man press where they kind of took away the middle for us. You know, Max had some trouble up the top, and we really couldn't find easy places, easy passes to go to. And as you've always said, offense will pick up your defense, and that's what got them going. Stewart getting going, and their pressure, again, maybe an MO of the Railers this year is finding ways to pressure, because we're sure going to see it in the Central State 8.
Well, if that film gets around, which
Yeah.
it will, it's going to be that type of pressure. But you have to be able to handle it, and when you play teams like that, you find weaknesses, and boy, that was a weakness that we had that night. So that's an area that we have to work on.
And I think they played some zone too, and that has bothered us a little bit in the Eaton Electrical tournament. The zone of Morton bothered us. The zone of Seton Academy bothered us, and that's been something where I think maybe throughout your career you've always had those 2-3 knockdown shooters where you could get 3 threes from this guy and 2 from this guy, and as we talked about earlier before the season started, we may not have that consistency this year.
Well, you know, we were 9 of 21 from 3 Thursday night, which I'd take that any night.
Yeah.
And you know, but the consistency, like you said, is one of the things, and that's why we've really been on these guys that you know, your defense can be consistent, and you know, and then if you have nights that you can shoot the ball, you're going to be in a much better shape.
Yeah, and we've always struggled when we don't hit those threes. Our next opportunity, our next job to do is find easy ways to get twos, and not a lot of post presence is you know, finding a way to get easy baskets when we can.
Yeah, and, you know, we've not shot a lot of free throws, but if you don't get to the paint and get to the post, you know, against zones you got to penetrate it, whether it be with the pass or the dribble. And you know, we're pretty passive right now. We're trying to get them to understand that that's the way you have to attack zones, is, you know, either by pass or dribble. You got to get inside that zone, and until we can find an answer there, we'll probably continue to struggle with zones.
Coach, moving on to this coming week, Friday night at Rochester, a brand new arena for me to attend. I'm kind of excited. I've heard about it. I've heard it's very nice. Have you been?
I've never been to it, but I've heard everything. We sent scouts there last year, and they were very impressed with it. And I'm also looking very forward. Hopefully it'll be a nice trip down there and a nice ride home. But
yeah,
I'll tell you, they are. John Angelo does a great job. I mean, they played a 1-3-1 last night. They trapped in all four corners, and they really got after you. And they're good athletes. They've got a lot of roughness around them. They got a couple kids that hadn't been on the basketball court very long because of their state championship football run. We got to go down there and play, and that's a big. I mean, that might be as big a game as we've had in a long, long time.
Yeah, we're an important, basically, coming off, three straight losses. I think we lost on Saturday morning, Saturday night, and then Thursday. So definitely a big win for the confidence of for the Railers, and that is next Friday at Rochester. Last night, Jacksonville beat Rochester 51-38. Seth McMinn was their leading scorer for Rochester at 15 points. So a new arena. I'm excited to go down and see that. Of course, we'll have all that action on WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com. Coach, do anything else that you've seen of the Rockets that we can expect? Man, you've said their zone. You've got the McMinn kid. I remember him. His brother, I think, went to Iowa on a football scholarship, so it's probably a relative brother. So I would assume they got some size.
Well, they're 6'3", 6'4" kids. They're lean. They look like basketball players. They don't. You think that they'd have some big husky kids out there with the success that they've had on the football field the last couple years. But they're a nice team, and they're very well coached. John Angelo was at Griffin last year and was very successful there. And he felt by moving out of there, he lives in Rochester, so he got a chance to go home and coach where he lived.
Yeah.
And he does an outstanding job. I mean, their spacing is very good. They attack zones the right way. They attack our full court. So it'll be a challenge for us. And, I'm sure it'll be another low-scoring game.
Yeah, hopefully everybody can make it down to Rochester Friday night, just a Friday night game for next week, right? No Saturday. Okay. Well, Coach, we're going to let you go because I know you've got some basketball to go see, and kind of a for your family-wise, kind of nice to have your oldest son back in the area, and you can go just another game you and Denise have to travel to.
Yeah, they're gonna play. They play Stony Brook this afternoon at 2:00, so we're gonna go down and watch that. And it's really nice to be able to get to see the grandkids and see them at least once a week now, and that's something else instead of once a year.
Yeah, it is. Well, Coach, thanks for stopping in, and good luck Friday. We'll see you next Saturday here on the Cheap Seats.
Okay, thank you.
We're going to take a quick commercial break from Lincoln IGA. You're in the Cheap Seats 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.